and other things follows for the event. And also, I do like to, if you can tell maybe those someone that you know that is on the group chat that have registered for the call for this course, and that individual is not on the call, you can definitely do something good by reminding them that the session it has started, because we are not waiting for anyone, because the train is actually, it's gonna be moving very fast. So that is that. So the lineup of events, the activity of events has been sent to the group. However, I would like to retrace it so that we can just get on touch. The first one there is we'll be having the opening prayer. That will be done by a volunteer. Anybody? The volunteer. The second one will be the introduction of this webinar, and also the platform we are using to organize this formidable training. That will be done by Dr. Isiaka Dada. That is, he'll be doing that. While afterwards, we'll be having the first lecture. That will be done by Dr. Sulaiman Ogumwewa. So we'll definitely introduce him as time goes on. And the second lecture will come afterwards. And that will be done by the convener of this webinar, Dr. Dada Isiaka Taiwo. Then we can now wrap up the session by having questions from both sessions that have been done. And we'll be taking vote of thanks, and we wrap up the event. So that is that. And I want you to know that this event is a certificate. It's a certificate. You'll be having a certificate of participation, certificate of attendance that you participated in this, which I know that it is very, very important for everyone. If you are if you are a mentor, this event for you, a school owner, a school administrator, an educator, a teacher, and anyone who is involved in or if you are part of the stakeholders in the education sector, this training is actually for you. Even if you are a teacher and the likes. So if you just do anything that is embedded around the school section, then this training is for you. So we definitely kickstart the event. And also, I want to reiterate this, that this training is the December webinar. That is the school counseling series 1.0. This is the first, the debut webinar for that program. And the theme we do be handling today is holistic learner support and stakeholders engagement, skills for effective school counseling. Once again, let me repeat that. Holistic learner support and stakeholder engagement, skills for effective school counseling. So as we have it on the flyer, we'll be having two facilitators that will be doing that for us. So to start the event, we do start with the opening prayer. And as stated in the event schedule, then we definitely want a volunteer to handle that for us. Any volunteer to start opening prayer as we start.
I want to volunteer to pray for us.
Okay,
My name is
okay, you can continue,
Christiana. Okay, thank
yes?
you.
Go ahead.
Father, we thank you for the privilege you have given to us to learn. We commit this, our training, into your hands. We ask for understanding from above. We lift up our facilitators into your hand. We ask to God for an easy way to communicate to God what they want us to learn. That at the end of this program, Lord, we have every cause to glorify your name. Thank you because we know you have heard us already. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you very much for that wonderful prayer. So that is indeed a beautiful one. Then we proceed to the next item as we have it on the agenda, and that will definitely be the introduction, and that will be done by the convener of this event, of this webinar, in the person of Dr. Isiaka Taiwo Dada. Will be doing that. I'll introduce him now subsequently, because when he's about to have his session. But before then, let's have his introduction. Thank you. Doctor, sir, you can proceed, sir.
Yes, Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I want to, first and foremost, welcome each and every one of us to this training. Yes, it's the first one in our program. I want to appreciate those that are on board. Without wasting much of our time, this training is, I think you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Yeah,
It's
thank you.
visible.
The training is born out of what you have seen. You have seen on the field. And we think that there is a lacuna to bridge the gap, especially for those that on field, the teachers, the school counselors, the para-counselors, and even parents. And that is our work as stakeholders in taking care of our learners. We have a lot of issues affecting our learners because we are not very proactive in identifying these vulnerable learners. You are falling victims of circumcision. We have some of our members, some of the teachers, even the counselors that are facing one kind of punishment or the other because of the so-called maybe concealment or negligence of work. And that is why it's necessary this training want to address one, early identification and proactive support for these at-risk learners. We want to promote a safe and inclusive environment. That even the students, the learner will be longing to be in the school and prefer to be in school than to be in any other place. This training wants to enhance educational outcomes. We record a lot of failures on the field. The student cannot boldly sit for an examination without engaging in examination malpractice. So, and everything revolves around the stakeholders, the teachers, the counselors, the learners themselves. We want to strengthen referral and support systems. How do we refer? When it is beyond our capability, our professional skills. We want this training to build how we are going to reduce stigmatization of our learners, even teachers, and promote mental health awareness. We have a lot of students, even staff, teachers, suffering from different kinds of mental health issues. We want to ensure professional responsibility and ethical practice. Some, yes, they lay claim to teaching, but they lack those professional skills and responsibility to discharge our duty adequately. We want also to ensure that we comply with the policies in order to achieve systemic improvement. We want this training to also equip us so that we can be crisis prepared, that we build our resilience so it will save us from facing the wrath of law, from punishment in our workplace as counselor, and those relating with the students. We have some certain policy in our country, Nigeria, now that we need to pay much attention to because of the implication to our job. As those that are relating with this student, the learner, we have national policy on bullying now, 2025. We have Counseling Professionals Council of Nigeria with Counseling Practitioners of Nigeria Act 2022. And we also have all that legal framework on children potential. Hence, the essence of this training and as part of continuous professional development for teachers and counselors and para-counselors, so that we can learn, unlearn, and relearn to move up and discharge our duty diligently, not only for the purpose of, yes, delivering our job excellently, and also because we are responsible to our Creator in the sight of our, on the day of judgment. Pray, Almighty God, guide the facilitators and also the audience throughout this session. Thank you for being on board on the training. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you very much, Doctor. It's an interesting one. We really appreciate your submission and your focus for organizing this training. And I can see that the audience too, they definitely know that we have a lot of things to learn on this call today. And like I said earlier, the objective is stated, and it's as he has said, it's something that it will definitely worth our time. At the end, he mentioned something which is something that is very important that is missing in some of our schools today. He mentioned the fact that we want to create an enabling environment, a student and learning friendly environment whereby students, they will be willing to come to the school and they will not want to be in any other place. So it's very important. We have students, out of school students today. They would rather be doing something else. Some will be engaging in gaming or in other form of entertainment, things like that. They're not interested in being in school because they felt they can be in another better place than the school. So this training is meant to create something of such, whereby we can get equipped, we learn, we can learn, we can unlearn and relearn something very beautiful. So that is that. So we'll be moving to the next item on this now. And the next item will be to add the first segment. The first segment, like I said earlier, we have someone in the house, a big personality who will be doing justice to the topic, the theme of this webinar. So, like I said earlier, I've mentioned the theme. Please let's kindly mute your mic. Those that are talking, please kindly mute your mic so that it will not cause distraction for us to lose focus. So thank you very much. So, like I said, we'll be moving straight to the item now. We're moving straight to the item, and the first lecture for today will definitely be from Dr. Sulaiman Ogunmuyiwa. So he will be talking about the art and science of human relations in schools. Once again, the art and science of human relations in school. So before that, he won't start unless I introduce him so that we'll know who is talking. Is there someone who can do justice to that topic? Is very important. Some events have big names to discuss some topics. However, those big names, they are not the right individual that have experience about what they want to talk. At the end, the audience will just get tired and bored. They'll pick something different from what that webinar is all about. Just they'll pick something different, not the particular and the objective things to discuss about, because it's one of the most talked about person in Lagos now as I speak, based on his recent appointment, and the person is no longer no longer person except Dr. Sulaiman Ogunmuyiwa. So I know that he's very much around and he's ready for us. So let me start by introducing him. So he is someone, he's a seasoned education administrator. So who brings over 25 years of progressive experience in school evaluation, planning, quality assurance systems, and educational leadership within Lagos State government. So this person, he holds a PhD in educational administration and planning from the University of Abuja, and he possesses 2 master's degree, first one in educational administration and guidance and counseling, and also bagged a bachelor's degree in education from University of Lagos. He has served in different strategic roles, which include head of planning, head of education quality assurance services, and most recently, director of private education and special programs with that. So like you have said, and he is engaging in different forms of projects that has to do with societal reformation, youth development, career counseling, home counseling, and every other thing that has to do with making the world a better place. And I know no other person but Dr. Sulaiman Ogunmuyiwa. So they recently appointed Director General, Office of Education and Gentlemen, dear educators in the house, and they want to do justice to the topic. So I want you to get your pen ready, note some of those things you want to be asking questions about. We have brought a big man in Lagos State, someone who is a seasoned, experienced person. We have brought him live down to this webinar, and I know that this opportunity we are having, it's quite rare. But I want you to kind of seize the opportunity to explore very well. So enjoy your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. I also want to extend my appreciation to the convener and every member on this call. I thank you for your kind words, best wishes, and prayers following my appointment as the Director General of the Office of Education Quality Assurance. I hope I am audible enough for the audience to hear me.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I want to say that the main thing I want to do is to take the audience through a course that I once took with the University of Toronto. I want to take the first module here. The course title, which I will also encourage that maybe we go and take the program. The course is on Coursera. I don't know which other places. It is the art and science of relationship. It's talking about relationship management. It is with University of Toronto. One Professor Tang was the trainer then. Now, the first module is what provided the background, that provided the basis for us to understand why people go into relationship. Okay. Why people go into relationship. Every one of us that goes into one relationship or the other is because we are interested in certain things that are important to us in life. And the key idea is need. I'm not going to be a friend to you. I'm not going to have a relationship with you if I don't have a need for it. Now, need can come in different ways. can come in different ways. It can come in different ways. And it's not my own. It can come in different ways. And it can be based on physical needs. Like the course exposed us to the fact that there are different categories of needs. Some can be physical. I can initiate a relationship with somebody because of a physical need. It can be survival. It can be material. It can be resources. A student can be a friend to you. It's on video. A student can become a friend to you because you give that student maybe 10 naira or 20 naira to buy snacks. Now, that child is in need. Maybe he lives or she lives in a place where she does not have anything to eat whatsoever. So when the child realizes that you, as a counselor or as a teacher, or as any individual, is able to satisfy that need of his or ours, you see them coming to you and they start a relationship with you. So it can be material, it can be food, it can be shelter. While I was teaching, I have had calls to relate with students who had challenges with accommodation. And I had to bring them to my house to live. Now, this happened maybe around year 2000. Year 2000. Now, if you look at year 2000 till now, it's about 25 years. Now, those students that lived in my house are still in relationship with me. A need brought us together. At times, the need can be psychological. Maybe a child is always feeling unsafe, and you as a counselor just decide to, ask after him every morning. Oh, good morning, how are you? Are you okay? Do you feel good? And the child starts to realize that you seems to be the only person that is interested in his life, in his safety. You are the only one interested in how he feels, in his well-being. And you give them a sense of security, you give them a sense of attachment, you give them a sense of affiliation. And also, the need can be social, where you just need to be friends. Some students want to say that the school counselor is my friend, my class teacher is my friend. And because of that, they start a relationship with you. And the last one is what is called the existential or spiritual need. When some students have some personal or personal needs. I had an experience of my class captain when I was teaching, and he told me that he wanted to attend a Catholic course in Ibadan. This guy was in maybe SS1 at that time, and I happened to be his class teacher. So he said he wants to become, a Catholic priest, and there are some courses that he needs to do. So he wants to take the course, and it's from a very poor family. And he requested that I should support him. So I gave him the transport fare to go to Ibadan on 2 occasions, 2 different times to go and take the course. And he came back. Now, because he has a spiritual need to fulfill, he aspires something, and he feels that he needs some support. He has a need for it, and I was able to support him. That if I tell you that Alex is a Christian today, but he's not a Catholic priest. In fact, it will shock you to know that he's a professor in, is it Kuwait or Qatar? Qatar. And he is married to one of the princesses of the Middle East. Now, so when people have certain spiritual needs and you are able to be there for them, you are able to support them, there are students who will come to you to say that they feel threatened by some fetish things. And all you could do is to say, yeah, come, I'll give you a prayer and you'll be doing it. And the student will be doing it. And he will find comfort in it. And he will always come back to you because you have been able to help him or her in his spiritual need. So human beings generally get involved in relationship in order to address or satisfy some of the needs. If they don't have a need for this, for example, if a student in your school comes from a very affluent background, or maybe you teach in one of these top schools, I don't want to mention names, top schools where the parents pay in dollars. And out of the dollars that they get from the parents of the students in the school, they pay your salary. Now, these students themselves don't have a need for food, they don't have a need for shelter, they don't have a need for money. So they won't start a relationship. You can't have a relationship with them on the basis of what they don't need. If you don't give such a child maybe 10,000 naira or 5,000 naira or 100 naira, they ask you, what am I going to do with it? Because they already have. Now, there is no single person that does not have a need for something. What we should do as counselors, as teachers, as individuals, relating with people, we have the mindset of supporting people. We need to identify what are the needs of our students, what are the needs of the people around us, and can we satisfy those needs? So your ability to satisfy those needs is what makes the people around you, what's that? The people around you to start a relationship. Now, the maintenance of successful relationship often depends on the ability to identify your own needs. You should be able to identify your own needs and see whether your need is also being attended to in relationships. Now, this is relevant when it comes to a marriage relationship, a work-related relationship, not a student-teacher or student-counselor relationship. Now, if I have a wife and I try to satisfy the need of my wife, I also expect that my wife should satisfy my needs. I have workers. I have needs, they have needs. They can't be working for me, and I'm supposed to pay them at the end of the month, and I'm not paying them, I'm owing them. Now, it's not going to work that way. So the maintenance of successful relationship depends on the ability that we are able to satisfy the needs from both ends. But in the case of students, we have upper hands, and we have to be able to see to what extent can we support these students. Now, having a relationship with students is something that is very, very important, because when you don't connect with the student, now, relationship in this context is not a love relationship, is not a marriage relationship, is not anything that has to do with that. It's just human relationship. Ability to feel like we are humans to one another. We support one another. And the point that we are able to now identify our needs and support ourselves, this is the basis of relationship. Like I was trying to emphasize, when you don't have a good relationship standing with students and you teach them or you counsel them, it is not going to work. Because relationship is like the network. For example, you have a phone and I have a phone and you want to call me. If there is no relationship between us, in this context, there is no network between us, there is no way your phone will connect with mine. So what is important is that you create a relationship which is the network around you and the student that you are relating with, so that when you want to connect with them, there is a network that is bringing you together. This is very important. Many a time, a student will come, a counselor will engage in sessions with students, and you don't see them come back. You don't see them doing what you want them to do. It's because there is no network. There is no relationship. A teacher goes into the class and teach. I listened to one elderly woman on TEDx, TED Talk. I mean, it's a TEDx talk, I guess. And what happened? This woman came to class to teach a group of students. But because there is a kind of network, there's a connection between her and the students, she made a mistake while teaching them arithmetics. And after that, the class closed. She got home and realized that there was a mistake. So she came back to the class the following day and said, class, I taught you something yesterday, I made a mistake. And one of the students said, ma'am, we knew you made a mistake, but because we love you, we left it. We didn't bother to trouble you. This is the way students are. And there is a quote that followed this particular, that I got from this TEDx talk. The quote is, people don't care about how much you know until they know about how much you care. Now, know and care is what is here. People don't care about how much you know until they know how much you care. It is when you care about them that they are interested in what you know. If you don't care about them, they don't care about what you know. I'm sure you will have seen students saying that, oh, our physics teacher, Igi, he knows a lot, but a kilo more. What does he know? He's a stupid man. Forget about what he knows. He's a stupid man. And you see a teacher who is struggling. Maybe he made a third class and is struggling to even communicate to the student those things that he has learned. And because he or she cares for the student will magnify the knowledge of this teacher. The same thing is for counselors too. So in the course, they went further to now distinguish between the needs. One need is intrinsic, the other need is extrinsic. Now, the intrinsic need is getting involved in the relationship for its own sake, meeting needs such as attachment, affiliation, and intimacy for its own sake. It is for the sake of the need that you go into that relationship. Now, but the extrinsic is getting involved in the relationship not for its own sake, but to achieve something else. And there are two subtypes of this. Extrinsic personal. The example will be needing someone to pass time with so you don't feel insecure or bored. I'm in a relationship with you. I am calling you on the phone because I feel bored, not because I like you, because you are available. I have called somebody, he didn't pick. I called another person, he didn't pick. I called another person, they didn't pick. Okay, let me call him too. So I called you and you picked, and I started talking to you. I am doing this for an extrinsic personal, need. I am needing you just to pass time, for you to take care of my security, just for me not to feel lonely. Now, there is also extrinsic instrumental. Example will be building a relationship with someone in a legal system in order for them to help you get your son out of trouble. For example, a parent is making a friend with you as a counselor so that you can help them to counsel their child. I am making a friend with a policeman because I know my son is troublesome, so that when he commits an offense, I can get a policeman to help me get him out. So it is extrinsic instrumental. You go into a relationship with people because of a need that you want to get. Now, it is important for us as counselors to know this so that we can really identify out of all our learners, who are the ones that are genuinely interested in us because they have this intrinsic need. Who are those that are just coming to us in friendship so that we can help them talk to the math teacher and they can get a pass. They want to be your friend because they know you are close to the math teacher. Not because you are a counselor, not because they want something from you to counsel them. No. Now, every need, there is what is called, in fact, that course is based on these findings. They call it SSLD framework. The SSLD framework emphasizes the concept of the N3C. The N3C can be applied in understanding and improving relationship. And what is it? N3C. So there is the N, which is the need, and there are 3 C's, which has to do with circumstance, characteristics, and capacity. Now, needs, based on what we have mentioned before, we have explained it. It can be physical, it can be psychological, it can be emotional, it can be spiritual. And the types are such that it can be intrinsic, it can be extrinsic. Extrinsic can be personal, it can be instrumental. Needs has to do with maybe you are looking for tranquility, you are looking for protection, you are looking for assurance, you are looking for inclusion, you want success, self-worth, affection, acceptance, safety, you want satisfaction, you want power, you want, anything you want, and you want to use relationship to get them. Now, the 3 C's. The first one has to do with circumstances. As counselors, we need to find out about the circumstances of our learners. In any relationship, you can apply this. If you also have a wife or you have a husband, what were the circumstances, the upbringing of your husband? Because those things have a lot of impact on relationship. I don't want to make it a marital class, and I don't want to give such examples. But when it comes to circumstances, you need to understand learners that are in school, under which circumstances are they living? Are they growing up? And the course divided circumstances into 3 levels. We have the macro level, which is the big picture, such as the historical demography or global warming or global financial crisis. That is, you are looking at circumstances at a very big scale. For example, how those born in 1977, what occurs to you? Anybody in my own generation will know that Festac was 1977. So the biggest event in Nigeria at that time was Festac 77. And that was when the whole of, the Festac in Lagos, all those chalets, all those quarters, all those buildings, that was when it was constructed. It was actually constructed to host Festac 1977. This is where all those who came from outside Nigeria were hosted. It was after the hosting of the Festac 77 that government started to sell those apartments. So the big picture is, I was born in 1977, then anybody that knows history will now relate my birth to that period and will look at some of the events to, try to see the kind of environment where I lived or the circumstances that happened during that time. Also, we have the meso level, which has to do with local or regional realities such as political system, taxation, healthcare, educational systems, and all other things, things that happen. You remember that an example I can give is growing up. We were told that Nigeria was in so much affluence that when people go to parties, I mean, when people host parties, after the parties, you see a lot of food being thrown away. A lot of food being thrown away. Because at that time, the social circles, the kind of culture and the issue of egungun, all those cultural, traditional, activities were very prominent. So that is the meso level, things that you can use to understand circumstances of people. Now, even yesterday, my friend came to my office and there was a guy that brought some clothes. And he now asks a question. Okay, so I received a call. My brother called from the UK, so it was a video. My friend was saying that, you remember Space 1999? Space 1999. I don't know if anybody is familiar with this. Now, Space 1999 was a kind of a fiction film that we watched when we were very small that has come to reality today. He was now asking the guy, who was almost close to our age, though we are much older, but close to our age. He now asked, do you know Space 1999? The guy said no. He said, okay, you came from the village. He said yes. Even if you were at that time our age mates, it is not all our age mates that understand or that was opportune to watch Space 1999. There were some of them who were in the local villages. So the kind of exposure that we had, they never had. Now, I'm explaining this just for us to understand. The most important one is the micro level, which are the personal circumstances. We talk about employment status, relationship status, health status, life status. Where is your learner? Where was your learner born? Is it in Mushi? Is it in Najegule? Or is it in the Ile Alagbo? Is it in Ikoyi? Is it abroad? Maybe when your learner was about to be given birth to, the mother traveled to the UK and gave birth to him, and they came back to Nigeria. All these things have a lot of impact on the circumstances. Now, when you were growing up, were you growing up with your parents, or you grew up with your grandmother, or you grew up with relatives? What happened that you didn't stay with your parents? Oh, maybe you lost your parents when they were when you were much younger. All those things that happened to you, did you live in an environment where you were able to watch TV, or you have to go to somebody else's house to watch TV? Those are the circumstances of your learners. Now, time is fast spent. Then the second one is the characteristics. What are the characteristics of your learner, of your students? Are they tall? Are they short? These are just characteristics that, it's same for everybody. You're either tall or short or medium. You're either light complexion or dark complexion. What is the color of your eye? How is your voice like? These are characteristics, and they are the physical characteristics. We also have the psychological characteristics, which has to do with your personality, how you carry yourself, your worldview, your value preferences. How emotional are you? Are you the type that gets angry easily? Are you the type that you're always moody? And what are your behavioral patterns? And the last in characteristics is the socio-cultural, your kind of lifestyle, the cultural practices you believe in, and the ones you practice, even the religion you practice. These things, affect our characteristics. We need to know these things so that we can know how to relate with our learners. And the last one is the capacity. Capacity is usually a subcategory of characteristics. Now, here we emphasize the positive traits and strengths. What are the strengths that you have? For example, your learner, your student has the capacity of public speaking, or your learner has the strength for sports. He can run, he can, engage in athletics. So what are those positive traits that can be converted to strengths for your students? It can be physical strength, it can be energy level, it can be immune, it can be intelligence, it can be knowledge, it can be wit, it can be self-efficacy or emotional capacity to have that resilience, to have that interpersonal skill to relate with people, to have that oratory power, or to even be an handsome or beautiful person. And also, it is important that we understand that the SSLD system does not generalize people. You don't generalize people. Rather, it takes into consideration individual differences. And you are able to profile each person. This is Yasser, he is gentle, he is tall, he is from a middle-aged family, he seems to have flair for sports. You categorize them and you try to also identify the needs of this particular student. And on that basis, you are able to relate with them. I think I shouldn't bore you too much. I would like to stop here, and I hope that we will have benefited from this course. And I also want to encourage that we look for the course on the internet, the art and relationship, the art and science of relationship, by Professor Sang. And I'm sure that it's going to be of great help to you. Thank you very much for inviting me and for giving me your attention. Let me have the phone.
Thank you very much, sir. That's been a beautiful session so far. And I know that everyone they have really learned a lot from the wealth of your experience and from what you have been able to dish out so far. And to our audience there, I know that you should have jotted a lot of things. For this kind of sessions like this, you need to capture your thoughts. You need to write them down. Writing them down will give you the room to remember, to fall back to it. Don't limit it to the fact that I will definitely remember. When you say you don't remember, it's a thought. It flows. It's a thought. It escapes. And you may not have that disposition of recalling it, even at the right, the way it is meant to be. So you can see. So it told us a lot of things, and I know that we have learned a lot when it comes to relationship as regards the student, as regards the schools and the likes. So thank you very much for your time. And he was able to break it down. So please kindly use the comment section to be giving out your remarks, your comments, and appreciate the facilitator also. Please bubble and bombard the chat box with your feedback. Your feedback is very important. Your feedback is also a way of relieving yourself, a way of giving back to the facilitator, because we cannot give everybody the room to have the mic and appreciate because we have limited time to engage in what we have said. And like I said earlier, so this is, you can see the examples he was giving, the narrative what he was giving. And he also told us at the beginning, as regard the course that he did on Coursera. So please, we can definitely fall back to that. Let me see, I think I jotted it down. He mentioned, let me use the chat box to do that. So it said the art and science of relationship. So we can go and search for the course on Coursera and have that course and take it up. So it's very, very important. So we say thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate. So on this note, we'll be having the second segment now. Though based on the schedule, we have it that we want to take all the questions together so that you can all be referring to the facilitator. Okay, this to Dr. Sulaiman, this is to Dr. Isiaka Yekindada. So that we can have question and answer for that moment. So I think it's a good one. So please I've dropped it in the chat box, the art and science of relationship on Coursera. So we can take that up. So we are seeing your comments from different people. From Alawe Star, thank you, sir. From Basirat Hassan, thank you, sir. From Monsura Mosako, most grateful, sir. From Basira, well educated, you are welcome, sir. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, doctor. Thank you very much. Thanks so much. Quite impactful. Thank you, Dr. Sulaiman, for very concise presentation. It was really educative and the like. So thanks for your comments. Others, you can still drop your comments for that. So we appreciate. Like we said, this the AES Counselling Clinic. This is the debut webinar. There's still a lot of webinar that will be coming up. This is just the first one, and I begin to ask myself if the debut webinar is like this, then subsequently we can see that we'll still have more to do, and we can see that we'll still have a lot of impact to make. So thank you very much for staying on the call for this time. So we now have 30 people on the call. So please kindly engage us for that. So we do be having the second segment now because we have a mandate. So and that will be done by Dr. Isiaka Taiwo. But before then, I need to read out his biography so that we can get to know who is talking. So the essence of this is for us to know that, okay, this person is talking from from an experience angle, and is somebody who has gone through what he's saying, who is well groomed in that. So the second facilitator for today, Dr. Dada Taiwo Isiaka, is a powerful advocate for mental wellness in schools and a seasoned counselor educator, and also a marital family therapist with over 15 years of hands-on experience across Lagos State public education system. That's close to 2 decades then. So he's known for his dedication to building emotionally resilient school communities. So, and he has helped to shape mental wellness practices within school settings, combining practical teaching experience with deep psychological insight. So his academic journey as follows. He had BA in guidance and counseling from University of Lagos, MSc in educational psychology, University of Lagos, PhD in counseling psychology, very important, from University of Lagos, and is currently pursuing an MSc in psychology and Islamic counseling from International Open University. He had a variety of career, and he has grown so much in the classroom. You know, it's very, very important in the experience sector. When you are not in the classroom, then you still have a box that you are yet to tick, because the classroom will tell you meet variety of experiences, different students from different background, different setting, different groups and the likes, whereby you will know it to test your your pedagogical skills, your every other thing to test it. So with that, Dr. Isiaka Dada he has taught in the following school: Ikeja Senior High School, 2009 to 2018. He's also a teacher there, and also a counselor as at that time. He's also a school counselor in Bolade Junior Grammar School, 2018 to 2020. Then he proceeded to Army Children's Senior High School between 2020 to 2022. He's also a school counselor in Ikeja Junior Grammar School. And presently, as we speak, is the district counselor, Educational District 6 headquarters, whereby he sits with every other thing as regard the counseling unit, as it pertains to schools under him. So, ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you Dr. Isiaka Taiwo. So he do be talking about on the topics that we have on the screen. Thanks for your time. Do stay back and enjoy. Thank you.
Good morning once again. I want to thank our first speaker, facilitator, and my mentor. The Almighty God continue to strengthen you. Now, the topic is identifying vulnerable learners and managing case records. I want to start with this quote. Every action concerning a child undertaken by any individual, public or private body, institution, court of law, administrative or legislative authority, the best interest of the child must be the primary consideration. I emphasize, the best interest of the child must be the primary consideration. It's Child's Right Law, Chapter 7, Section 1 of Lagos State. Many a time when we are discussing about these students, learners, we don't consider the best interest of the child. And that is one of the essence of this particular thing. The learning objectives that at the end of the session, we should be able to define vulnerable learner, recognize common indicators, understand the basic screening tools, and referral pathways. Maintain professional confidential case records. Understand the legal framework in Lagos and Nigeria, and apply ethical reporting and data sharing principles. What is a vulnerable learner, and who is a vulnerable learner? According to UNICEF 2022, a learner at increased risk of poor educational, social, and health outcomes due to academic, social, and environmental or familiar factors. As our learners, that yes, due to maybe our academic teacher is not giving them what is expected of them, so they are at risk of educational outcomes. Because the school is not providing the basic things, they are at the risk of poor educational outcomes. Because of their relationship, connections with the learners, they are at increased risk of social outcomes. Because of the environment, we have some schools in the ghetto, we have some schools, these guys smoking in their hands, they surround the school and the likes. So that is vulnerable learners. Vulnerable learners might be defined as, another scholars, Magua and Magua 2016 says that vulnerable learners might be defined as pupils who are subjected to complexities like poverty, emotional and physical obstacles, learning and financial troubles, lack of psychosocial assistance, stigmatization, and prejudice of some sort. Yes, all of us are complaining poverty, but some are in the extreme state of poverty, and it affects the learners. You can see we have a case of a particular learner. They live in the same room, father, mother, children. They have, I think, four children, and another step daughter living in that house, same room. And the father and the mother, they will be having affairs in the same room. And you can think of the risk at which those children are. So that is, so they have vulnerable learners. Some, they need the psychosocial assistance. They have counselor in the school, but the counselor is not discharging its work. It's our work diligently. Some, they are at risk of stigmatization. We label the learners. Olodo, Oloshi. You are at a school. You got some information, you said we should go to the school to go and make some findings. And we met the teacher teaching them and abusing them in the classroom. A teacher, a learner wrote that, mentioned the name, Mr. So have been telling us that we are going to fail. And that is why we have failed. So we have many students in this school that have left the school because Mr. So continue to threaten us that we are going to fail. And that teacher is in charge of the EMIS. And that is why we are failing. Please help us beg him not to fail us. And these are different things. And we say, Casa say, I don't know that it's happening in the school. And that is why we must be very, very careful and conscious. What are the key indicators of vulnerability? Academic, emotional, behavioral, environmental, physical and health, social and protection related, indicators of vulnerability in Lagos schools, economic and living condition indicators, and others. Please, can you make some emojis to know that, yes, you can hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, you are loud and
Okay.
clear.
Okay, thank you. So let us now take the indicators one after the others. These are the indicators that we know that, yes, this particular learner needs our help. You can be a parent, you can be a teacher, you can be a religious person. You know that this particular learner needs our help. They are vulnerable academic indicators. A learner that continuously repeats a class, repeated class, repetition. Yes, they are repeated the class 5 times, 3 times. The counselor said that this boy has repeated the class more than 3 times. And he said we should send him away. Well, in Lagos State, if it's basic education, TSS, I'm not expected to send children away from school. It's against the policy, because basic education is compulsory to all learners. It's vulnerable. We need to know more about that particular learner. Sudden drop in grades. And that is why the school counselor, the teacher, they need to follow up learners. The school counselor needs to have the broadsheet. The last session, this session, compare. Sudden drop in grades. The class teacher needs to know, first time, second time, what is happening? What is wrong with this learner? Why is it dropping? First time perform 80%, second time 50%. Irregular attendance or chronic absenteeism, truancy, does not come to school regularly. We need to know why. What are the circumstances, as we have been taught in the previous lecture? What are the circumstances surrounding this particular learner for him or her not being irregular in the school? Perpetual late coming to school. When I was in the classroom, I always have so you sit outside to pick the latecomers. I will not stay outside. I always be there 8:30. Because I've observed that sometimes we pick the latecomers between 8 and 8:30. And other people are still coming late. So I don't pick latecomers, any latecomers. So latecomers start. My own latecomer starts from 8:30. Of course. So I've observed that. So yeah, some people they come regularly, late, perpetually. So when they come, after gathering them, they do like exercise, up and down, up and down. Yes. Okay, all of you, take a sheet of paper, your name, your class, your home address, when you wake up, start writing it. When you wake up, when you do this, when you do that. So why do you come late? You now see revelations. Why students come late? Because of environmental factors, because of parental factors and the likes. Even I wrote an article, an academic article on late coming in Aprocon Journal. So we need to know that these are indicators that these people are vulnerable. How can we assist them? Class cutting. The school 2 students, they be in school, but they don't stay in the class. Everything is not punishment. Everything is not suspension. Everything is not sending them away. They need our assistance. Poor concentration and unfinished classwork. He has never finished the class. He has never written the book, the notes completely. Lack of basic learning materials. They don't have. Exercise book, they don't have. Pen, Bible, they don't have. Bag, this does not have. So these are academic indicators. Behavioral and emotional indicators, we have some, they withdraw, they isolate themselves, excessive quietness in the class. Just keep quiet. So you should know that something is wrong. Why is the learner, an adolescent, just keep quiet in the classroom without saying anything, without talking? So we need to probe further. Aggressive behavior, bullying others, frequent fights. So we need to probe further. Fearfulness around specific teachers, peers, or others. There was a case that the teacher that continues to threaten them, I have mentioned it, that there's a particular case that, yes, When they see the teacher, the student run away. It's not even the teacher, the vice principal. When they see the officer, they run away. So the teacher must be observant. The counselor must be observant. It was later we now got to know that that particular personnel was abusing the student, the female student. That was why they continue running away from him. So they are vulnerable. They, their instinct, just run away. We have sudden change in behavior. The student has been active before, started, yes, shy and the likes. A case study of a student that female student that slapped a male teacher. The reaction in the male teacher, and why? Because the male teacher slapped the female student, and the female student retaliated immediately. The viewer, you need to know and prove for that. Oh, a student that wants to commit suicide. So you need to see if you have seen signs of low self-esteem, hopelessness, and worthlessness. We have physical and health indicators. And that is why must be observant. Poor personal hygiene, every time is very dirty. Monday morning, very dirty, look tattered, malnutrition, frequent illness. You have a case of a counselor. They have observed him in the school and they brought the case to the district of two students. Yes, they observed that yes, they are looking at pale and the lies. So we call the guardian. Okay, first thing, as we have observed, which we have seen it, so just take this particular learner to a close by health center, Isolo, General Health Center, General Hospital, and we call the guardian from the office. Meet your ward in this particular hospital, and she should pay all the bills. The guardian, she has gotten there before then. All the counselor and the just track the guy, and she took the learner away. She said she's not going to any hospital. She will go and take care of her. She will go to one chemist and do that. Lo and behold, the learner ran away from the house. And the guardian now ran, was now called the counselor. I'm looking for my, are you not the one that took away the... So the guardian went to the police station to report this. When reporting the case, so the police station called the counselor. The counselor informed us, this is the situation. Or the thing, look, there's no problem. You call the guidance. You are the one, so okay, we just call the police also called, because we have called the guardian, they called the office, called the boss. So we just tell the police station that, okay, no problem. The case is beyond your jurisdiction. Refer the case to the gender unit of the police station. And immediately from the office, we call the gender unit. So hearing that from the police station, immediately the case changed. Just refer the case to the gender unit. And that is how the guidance got to the gender unit. Immediately they detained her. So they are now coming to the office to plead. He stayed there for more than a week. They did not release the child to the guardian and the likes. So these are, when you have seen a child, a learner in our class, in our schools, we have seen the sign of malnutrition, frequent illnesses, the personal identity. Like, not that this is a vulnerable learner. We need to do something before it's too late. Sleeping in the class due to night labor, hawking, domestic stress, sign of neglect, dirty uniform, unkept appearance, and the likes. So we need to act fast before it's too late. We have social and protection related indicators. Engagement in child labor, report of domestic violence. Someone reports, a learner reports a domestic violence or abuse, to you, or you think that, oh, my mom wrong by me. Yes, they might be telling lies sometimes, but it's not all the time. We need to act. Substance use, association with delinquent peers, see the type of gangs of people they are relating with, it should call our attention. Stigmatization. It might be from the teacher, might be from the adult, might be from the peers. We need to rise to these learners. Bruises observed in the student. You have another case like that. You have not everybody bruises. So it needs our attention. We need to act. We should not label our learners. Indicators of vulnerability in Lagos School. You have some single parents with little or no support. They are struggling, they have a challenge. You have parental absence due to migration and separation. You have a case that a boy living, an adolescent living alone. You can imagine the type of things that the adolescent is doing. They are vulnerable. Frequent family conflicts. We have settled not one, not two, not three family cases that we have settled in the office because of the learner, because it's affecting the learners. And after the discussion, even the parents got on them, yes, our relationship is affecting this, our children. A consistent supervision of caregiving. Yes, the parents are there, but they don't have the time to supervise their children, to give them the necessary care, concern they need. And that is why the teacher comes in. That is why the counselor comes in. That's why the counselor comes in. That is why volunteers, workers, religious people come in. So, and these are indicators. You have economic and living condition indicators. Unstable income, parents, you don't have anything. We have a case of a student that live inside Isolo, because I went to the house. Inside Isolo. Every morning, the student trek down to the school, and the school is in Oshodi. She trek with her siblings, two sisters, to fro, and they will not eat anything until after the school hours when they get back home. You have the inability, overcrowded housing or unsafe living environment, inability to meet basic needs, children contributing significantly to the family incomes. The children are the ones that are working for the family. Frequent relocation and homelessness. JSS1 is at Isolo. JSS2 at Mushin. JSS3 at Ikeja. It will affect the learner. Psychosocial and emotional indicators. Exposure to harsh discipline and emotional abuse. Thank God this one is getting, we are getting rid of this one in Lagos State. Everything is not punishment. Harsh punishment is not unwanted. Emotional abuse. Your rain causes abuses on children and learners. It affects their self-esteem. Someone said, a case of someone that said, he wrote it in the paper. When we went to the school, said that. Specifically mentioned the name of the teacher. He said they are doing robotic training, and the teacher in charge of the robotic training. So the learner was interested, and the learner went to the teacher. Excuse me, sir. I'm interested. I want to join the robotic training. This one. You dollar, is it the type of you that they want there? Come on, go away. And that particular learner will register it. Can never forget. So you must be careful when we hear teachers, our colleagues mentioning our parents, certain thing on this learner, it has implication in their life. Children assuming adult roles. Parentification. You have a learner that she's the one because the father has lost his wife. The father turned the eldest child to the mother in the house. Is this girl that will cook, for other siblings in the house. Is the girl that will take the children's sibling to the school. Is the girl that will take care of the home. And this girl is a GSS 3 student. Last session. She'll be in SS1 now. And we now assume this girl to perform wonderfully well in our academies. Emotionally, we want her to be stable. And the father also beats hell out of her if she's not doing what is expected of her by the definition of the father. Trauma exposure. They have witnessed maybe different theft and the likes, accidents, and it's affecting the children. Two, children showing fear of the caregivers. The case that was brought said the judge, after discussing with the learner, then they invited the guardian. So, do you want to go back to your house? Then no. You want to go back to your parents in the village? Say yes. When? Immediately. Because the learner has fed up. The relationship between that particular guardian and the learner. So these are vulnerable learners. We need to be close to strengthen our relationship with this learner for them to be able to disclose what their feelings to us so that we can help them. They have cultural and environmental risk factors, gender-based discrimination, because she's a female, because he's a male, harmful traditional basis or belief. Yes, they want forceful marriage. They want her to get married at age 12, GSS1 students. And we have the opportunity to get the information, how best can we assist? Community violence, cultism, gang influence, exposure to drugs, alcohol, criminal activities, religious and cultural pressure affecting the child well-being. So all these are things we need to understand to give us, yes, these are risk factors that make these particular learners vulnerable. So implication for school counseling practice. Teachers, for counselors, for counselors, for parents. The essence of understanding these indicators is for early identification. With early identification help us to make a timely referral, to provide appropriate intervention and ensure that, yes, and save us too from being accused of concealment and embarrassment. Yes, we have cases now in Lagos State of, yes, counselors, of administrators that are in the courts because of what? Being accused of concealment. So we need to speak out. What are the expectations from teachers, counselors, para-counselors, administrators, parents towards vulnerable learners? The initial interaction, you cannot do it, we refer them to a professional, counselor, if you are not a counselor, that can assess them through interviews. We have checklists. There's on the platform that we share a particular checklist that the learner can fill to know is it vulnerable or not. The parent can fill to know that, yes, is my child vulnerable or not. That the counselor or the teacher can also fill to know your relationship with these vulnerable learners. We are going to share one of the tools. You need to create confidential case file for these vulnerable learners. She has been abused. Maybe it's sexually, maybe emotionally, maybe physically. We need to have confidential case file for him or her so that you can monitor the progress of our interaction or session with the vulnerable learners. We need to do a kind of basic needs and risk assessment after establishing rapport with the learner to know what are his needs, what is the particular abuse case Why is it vulnerable? What is the issue? At home, in the school, on the street? You need to do basic need and risk assessment of that particular situation, of that particular vulnerable learner, so that we have details at our hands to help and or refer that particular learners to appropriate quarters. And we need to collaborate with other teachers. We need to collaborate with parents. Sometimes we collaborate with NGOs. MSSN, we collaborate with them. Fellowship, we collaborate with them. Some NGO that can assist. That this is, there was a case that they raised. There was a learner that does not have where to stay. They're not looking for you who can, no homes in Lagos State. Do you have any other home? There's no official home, no any homes that can accommodate this boy. And also collaborate with child potential agencies for provision of social support. So the second expectation from us is to provide individual and group counseling. And this can be done by the professional counselors or the para counselors learning one course or the other. So individual counseling is majorly for emotional distress, trauma, abuse, or neglect. It's one-on-one. We can bring them together. If what you have after conducting the basic need and risk assessment, you can bring and you see that these people, their challenge is self-esteem. Their challenge is peer relations. Their challenge is anger management. You can bring them together for group counseling on self-esteem, on peer relations, on anger management, on coping skills, of other things. You can engage them with life skills education on how to make decisions. Their challenge is how to make decisions. They don't know how to make decisions. Some is assertiveness. They are not assertive. The particular case of a learner that's been abused. Oh yeah, let us do it. Do what? They cannot say no. And they abuse him. In the school, they abuse him. They also they abused her. They also took her outside the school and abused her. And that's why wherever you go, wherever you be, do not say yes. When you mean to say no, your no should be no, and your yes not no, and you are laughing. You can engage them, educate them on resilience. You can educate them. There can be psychoeducation on stress, on how to manage their emotions, and on how to solve problems. And this is the second expectation of counselors. The three, academic and behavioral support. For our vulnerable learners, we need to support them academically and we need to support them behaviorally. If they're having academic challenge, we need to develop individualized support plans. How can you support this particular learner? Is it that dollar? We need to, it needs specific individualized support. And the teacher can do this. The counselor can do this. We need to work with other teachers to manage learning or behavioral challenging. Sometimes at Ikeja Senior High School, when we observe, I was the school counselor, when we observe that, yes, majority of these students in SS1, SS2, they cannot read and write. And we're having challenge. As regards their result, with the principal then was also a counselor. Yes, I enjoy working with her. So we now identify these vulnerable learners that cannot read and write in SS1 and 2. We now made a remedial class for them that all the English teachers engage them after school hours. And start using Queen Primer for them. And lo and behold, some of them, and we invited their parents to discuss it with them. This is how you can support them. This is our own take of supporting them. You too can do more. So this we can do it. We support the learners. We support the learners with study skills, time management. Some of the learners don't know how to manage their time. Some of them do not know how to manage their time. You need to assist them. You need to assist them on their study skills. We need to monitor their attendance and learning progress. So how is he doing? After the first test, get last with the teacher. How is the student doing? After the second, not at the end of the session. There are some schools that we identify in the district that we now, okay, why is your school having 7%? Out of the whole student in SS2, only 7 got promotion. How come? It's not at the end. And if the counselor says she does not know, you don't know what? Why won't you know? So we need to monitor the attendance. You need to monitor the learning progress. After the first test, after the second test, why is this one doing like this? Why? You engage them. Yes, the task is enormous. But what is worth doing is worth doing well. The third one is family engagement and home support. Sometimes too, because you have some parents, they don't care. It is at the end of the term, they now see the result. It's at the end of the session, they now see the result and start lamenting. Open day, they will not go. They will not attend. So we need to conduct parent counseling and guidance. At the parent forum, the counselor need to be there. They need to be giving session to talk to the parents, to enlighten them, to educate them. As regards an observation, and you go there with data. Our student, so number of students, they always come late. So number of students, they always fail. Do this and the like. So they know that you know what you are doing. You have data. You know what you are doing and you know what you are saying. So you provide home school liaison services to relate with the home, to assist these learners. We educate the parents on positive parenting and child development. Some, they don't even know how to relate with their parents. Some learners, they are the one controlling their parents. This is what I want. This is what I don't want. This is what you should do for me. This is what you should not do for me. They control their parents. So we need to enlighten them. You refer families. When you have observed lacunas, gaps, you can refer families to counseling units, to social welfare services. The next one is referral and collaboration. This work cannot be done alone because we are not an island. So we need to refer serious cases. The scale, I said I will share with you. It gives us when are we going to call a case serious that we can refer? So you refer, especially case of abuse. Case of neglect, serious neglect, mental health issue, we refer. You need to collaborate and work well with our principals. Yes, sometimes we have counselors, they have challenge with their principals and lives. We need to work with them with wisdom. The other teachers with community leaders. We have suggested for a school to invite the community leaders because every time they always come to the school to stay. Invite the community leader, interact with them, discuss with them, look at the best way to protect the learners and the school properties. Advocate for safe school policies. Do we have policy in the school that is well spelled out, that all the stakeholders, the teachers, the learners, they are aware of in the school system? You need to educate the learners on the assemblies, in the classrooms, on personal safety and their rights. You need to protect our learners from bullying, discrimination, and exploitation. I mentioned. In our schools, some adults, some teachers exploit the learners. Go and get me minerals and go and buy me something. They see something from them, the learner are expected to build themselves out with money. It's still going on in our schools. And we cannot claim ignorance as counselors, para-counselors, and even someone concerned in the school environment. We need to raise alarm. Preventive and school-wide programs. We need to organize some programs, anti-bullying campaigns is going on. Drug use prevention programs, peer mentoring. Let them teach themselves. The learners, they listen to themselves. Especially we identify the ringleaders. We train them, they talk to their fellow students, peers. So we organize career guidance and future planning sessions for them, so that they know, yes, what do you even want to do in the future? What do you want to do? What's your future ambition? How do you go about it? Organize this for them. Advocacy and professional leadership. We advocate for these vulnerable learners in disciplinary meetings. We should not be the one to hang these vulnerable learners at meetings. When they are here, this student, they are not serious, they are this, let us get them, suspend them, do this and do that too. Let us look at it. Might be the best way to, what we need to do is change of behavior. So how do we do that? Not just everything is not discipline. The push for recognition of counseling services in our school, in the school management. And the government is getting there. They are now realizing the importance of counseling in the school system. That without counseling unit in the school system, there cannot be any effective learning and teaching activities in the school system. And that is why the counselor must be given more time and less work of teaching in the classroom. Influence policy implementation at school and district. Provide data and reports to education authority. You should be able to tell us how many number of students always come late in your school, on average, in a day. Truant, school, those that cause school, absenteeism. We have a counselor, almost all majority of your students have left. Are you aware of say I'm not aware of that? It's a matter of telling the class teacher, furnish you with the data of the students, those that have left the school at the beginning of the term. Look at it at the end of the term. Why are they not coming? What have you done? Have you visited them? Have you called the parents? Why are they not coming? We need to have this information at our hand so that we can assist. Some, they are undergoing a kind of neglect, abuse. That is why they are not coming to school. We have some, they first go to their parents, to their guardian shop to arrange to settle everything before they come down to school. Some, they first go and sell before they come down to school. And when they get down, they come to school, we still beat them because they are coming late. And we don't bother why they are coming late. We have ethical practice and self-care. To our practice, confidentiality is our watchword. We need to be confidential. And that is why some certain record, even before we expose it to the principal, we need to be careful. Because it's between you and the clients and the learner, and they trust you. We have the case of some learners that accuse the counselor of telling people their issues, and they started moving away from the counselor. They wrote it down in the notes. So confidentiality is our watchword. And we follow child potential ethics. Maintain professional boundaries. You should engage in supervision. Yeah, I'm not on supervision. Counselor is always on supervision. Continuous professional development. Continuous, when you see something, a cause that will benefit you, let us engage in it. Learn is for our benefit. Because when the repercussion comes, someone was giving a query, they were just expressing him or herself in the query. This is the issue. Person cannot do that. And it led to another query. It led to another warning. It led to another punishment. And this we must learn and understand. Then, as we are making efforts to assist our learners, we should also take care of ourselves. So, we should take care of ourselves, we should take care of our health, we should take care of our mental health so that we can perform effectively as teacher, as counselors. Now, the screening tools and referral pathways. Teachers need observation checklists, attendance monitoring. You need to monitor their attendance. You need to, there are short validated screeners that you can use to evaluate the vulnerable learners. We have structured referral forms. You can use forms to refer our clients and can escalate some cases when it comes to issue of what? child protection issues, abuse. So observation particularly. How do we do it? Teachers, counselors need to observe students and learners on the assembly. We should be on the assembly to see, to observe. We should observe our learners in the classrooms when we are teaching. When we are not teaching, other teachers are teaching. You can go as if you are passing by, listen few minutes, observe some learners in the classrooms, during the class sessions, during breaks, we should be observant. Before assembly, some learner comes to the school and says, we have a particular case of a learner that sleep in the school. So we need to, at least once in a while, before assembly, you come so early, what happened? Where? Hope no problem. Another time, you have seen him or her. Before assembly, after school hours. Some learner cannot go home because of the type of abuse they are facing at home. Some particular now, GSS, I think 1 and 2, learner, they abuse a vulnerable girl in the schools, in the classroom, after school hours. One of them had sexual relationship with this girl, and he went to tell another student, I have sexual relationship, you to come and do your own. And the other one also came, have his own way. They also plan on their way home, so do another round. So we must be observant. So, and that is why we need to be good observants. Observe teacher-student relationship. Some teachers, they are not being professional in their relationship with the learners. So it should be observed. So that is why they will always ask us, they always call us. If you are counselor in the school, you are counselor in the school, you always say, you don't know. Why are we to know? You should know. To the extent that a particular teacher will be abusing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 students in the class, in the school environment, and we lay claims to it. So if you're very good to our students, even if you don't know, some other students that know will come and tell us. So we should also observe the head teachers, the principals, the way they are addressing the students. We can call their attention to it after maybe one-on-one. Should not be threatening them. Should not be again. If you don't bring that thing, you will fail. I will fail all of you. In a particular school, the student mentioned that even the principal will tell us that you are going to fail. And the principal is just telling them that, yes, you should, yes, be up and doing. Because if you don't do the needful, you can. So you can observe. There are different ways of saying different things. You should observe it. You encourage them. We motivate them. So case records and best practices. We need to have our record, because when it comes to court case, what they want to see is our records. And this is what will exonerate us. Say the counselor is working, is doing very well. Yeah, your record, no record. No record. And you say you are working. Which type of record? In a particular case that happened, did you incident it? Say you need standardized intake form. You can design anyone, especially on some certain cases that are very, very serious. Intake form that have dates, presenting concern, the observation. What have you observed? You keep session notes, factual, being dated and signed. You have note for that. Particular thing happened, this particular student learner, yes, reported a particular case of bullying, of sexual thing, so time, so date, so time. And what are your observations? You store records securely and limit access to unauthorized staff. And that is why a counselor in every school, there must be a room designated for the counselor and the counselor alone, not a room that you are sharing with the sick bay with another teacher that is not a counselor. because of confidentiality. Need to record action taking. What have you done? You have had it. What have you done? And you are still investigating. You investigate for 2 weeks, for 3 weeks. You are still investigating. What are you investigating for 3 weeks? Referrals. After what have you done? Have you referred the case? What are your follow-ups? You need to do it. You need to maintain confidentiality, but sharing when safety or law requires it. So yes, you tell him, there's this case. Yes, I'll be confidential with you, but for us to be able to seek justice, you need to tell some people that matters. Let the client know so that you can access. They said, when I'm going to talk about case management, we need to know what does this learner want so that we can help them. In Lagos State, in schools, our case recording is through the use of incidents book. You incident it. Important thing has to do with the learner. Yes, so date you have observed 2 learners with tata clothes, with this and that, and you pencil it out, incident it, the time, and what you have done on it. Later, you will see there was a case of a learner that was beaten up by the school administrator and his teacher. Why the case got very, very difficult was that there was no record. He said, hey, that boy, he was a perpetual latecomer. Where are the records? School counselor, where have you recorded it? Where have you incidented it? So date, you invited the parents. So date, you have done this. So date, you have done that. Where are the records? No records. When you don't keep records, when it gets to issues, then you cannot exonerate yourself. You need to be documented. Then they have case management folder for record of particular client that has to be followed up. Then later we cannot undo it, we escalate it to the district and the social workers. They continue with the work. You write an official letter directed to the TGPS stating the incidents for it to be escalated. From the district, then you can contact the DSVA, can contact the gender unit of the Nigerian police. Not that immediately any case happened in your school, you contact, there was a case like that, you contact the police. And this is case recording in Lagos State, record keeping templates, intake form fees, I've mentioned date, student ID, student name, student class, address, sending concern, reporter, brief history. Session note fields, date, time, objective, observations, our interventions, our plan, our sign off, our referral log. We have referral log. Yes, so case I refer you to the counselor. So day I refer you to the district. So case we refer them to this. The dates refer the case and the reason for your referrals and the outcome. You need to keep it and have it. Practical steps for schools. What you can do today, start simple. Standard paper intake and referral forms. Use attendance and grade data to flag students automatically. Schedule weekly meeting with you have counseling committee to review challenging case. Train staff on confidentiality, mandatory reporting, and safe record storage. Build links with local child protection and health services. So let us be aware of delay. In the recent, we have national policy on bullying. All of us need to read it to understand bullying, what the federal government has said about it. We have bullying, student bullying. We have student-teacher bullying. We have parent-teacher bullying. We have parent-student bullying. Different bullying, yes. So we must understand what is expected of us. Within 5 days, we get the information, we must act. If the case needs to be escalated within 7 to 10 days, we should escalate it. There must be designated officer, counselor, that is in charge, that must be in charge of any case like this in the school. So for us not to be accused of negligence of our duty or concealment, there are legal implications for all these things because you have legal frameworks from international to national to the state. You have Convention on the Rights of Child, 1989. You have African Charter on Rights and Welfare of the Child, 1999. You have Child Rights Act in Nigeria of 2003. You have Lagos State Child Rights Law, 2007. We have Prevention Against Domestic Violence Law, 2007. We have Criminal Law of Lagos State, 2011. We have the Family Court of Lagos State, Civil Procedure, Rules 2012. We have Lagos State Sex Offenders Monitoring Program and Mandated Reporting, 2014. And we have Lagos State Safeguarding and Child Protection Policy, 2016. All these laws, if you don't do what is expected of us, pray not to see the other side of the wall. So these are reference contacts in Lagos State that can assist if you are not Lagos State worker. To do what I've mentioned, you can say liaise with Lagos Ministry of Education, Ministry of Youth and Social Service, Social Development. They are the ones that have social workers. You have Ministry of Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation for domestic violence and the likes that are affecting the children and learners in the school. You have Ministry of Health. You have Mirabel. Mirabel Center is at Lasut. They assist when we have case of sexual abuse. Because it is necessary when we have the case of sexual abuse, within 48 hours, the child needs to see a medical practitioner to have evidence. Mirabel, they do it so that you can take over the case. You have the Nigerian police, you have DSVA number, then you have the toll-free for the student in DSVA. You have 08000 333. And you want to report any case, you can use this #6820 *6820# to report the case. So finally, this is a case scenario that just quickly look at a 13-year-old student with sudden drop in attendance and performance, withdrawn in school. What are we expected to do? Let us have our take from the chatbot. Let us identify the indicators of vulnerability. Let's list the immediate steps for information gathering, and let us draft a short intake note. Date, presenting issue, observation, and next steps. This is a case study for us to conclude this session. A 13-year-old student with sudden drop in attendance and performance, and also withdrawn in class. Let us do that. And thank you for listening. Thank you very much.
So thank you very much for your times, Doctor. So you have really demystified the role of school teachers and counselor, their roles in ensuring that students they have the required support to be successful and to learn, so that they will not get affected in any way. So it has been, you also brought a lot of case scenarios from your experience in the class, from the forward of the classroom, and also your experience at the district level. Thank you very much, and the cases you have handled. Thank you very much for your time. You can see to our audience out there, you can see that these are what we need to bring that real change in the educational sector that we are all been clamoring for. The fact is that when we get it right in the educational sector, every other sectors will continue to flourish. But if the educational sector, because that's the producing house, you understand, where everybody receives the right tutelage. So it's what they receive from the school setting, from the forward of the school, that's what they go out there to display. So it is very important. So thank you very much, Doctor. So we please kindly bombard and the chat box with your comments and with your feedback, and also to appreciate Doctor for that detailed presentation. Thank you very much, sir. It has been interesting. And now at this note, I want to believe that we have all learned one or two things. We have also add to some of the things we have learned. We have unlearned, and we have relearned. And it also onus on us to go out there to cascade what we have learned. Irrespective of our roles, we are all stakeholders in the educational sector. Let's go out there and give out from what we have learned from our take home from this webinar. Thank you very much for your time. So on this note, we are moving to the question and answer segment, whereby we want to give room for everybody to ask questions. We have seasoned educators in the house, from the first facilitator, Dr. Muiwa, Sulaiman Ogumuiwa, and also Dr. Isiaka Yekin Taiwo. So please, on this note, you can make use of the chat box to ask your question. And okay, let me see. Let's make use of the chat box. I think that will make it very fast. That will make it faster. So while the question is on, we can, okay, good. So we are paying attention to the chat box now to note the questions that we are having. So on this note, I also want to make us understand that we have a certificate for this for participating in this webinar, and the certificate are very much ready for all the participants. I can assure you of that, and we know that it is a paid one, definitely, because these are things that you can present at different forums to be sure to present, to certify that you are part of a discussion, because at this point of time everybody needs an evidence. You need to present an evidence to back up your claim of engaging in social project or being part of a social event, and it will definitely give you a leverage anywhere you find yourself. That's why we have deemed it fit to present certificate to all participants of this webinar, which is very important. And the certificate is actually mentioning the aspects, focusing on the theme of this webinar also. So on that note, you can start drop your questions. So drop your questions. And I want to ask, do you feel like you want to, okay, we have question 1. And please let's know, who are you directing the question to? What do you do when you have work on a student but not yielding, full of pretense and lies all the time? Oh, okay. Let's start. So please, for Mrs. Folake Ayeni, please kindly let us know if that question is meant for Dr. Sulaiman Ogunmuyiwa or Dr. Isiaka Yakin Dada. So let's know if it's for them. And okay. Okay, we have one question so far. Or do we have someone who want to make use of the mic? Make use of the mic to ask your question? Okay, question 2 is here. How can you address issues of teachers who feel... Okay, good. I think this is what we'll do. Since there's no specification to the facilitator, we'll definitely divide the question. For the question 1, I'll look at how it pertains. The first one, what do you do when you have work on a student but not yielding, full of pretense and lies all the time? I will take that for Dr. Ishaq Yekin Dada. Dr. Ishaq Yekin Dada, you answer that question. The first question, what do you do when you have work on a student but not yielding, full of pretense and lies all the time? While the second question will go to Dr. Sulaiman Ogunmuyiwa. How can you address issues of teachers who feel they can counsel students without the interference of the counselor? This set of teachers report cases directly to the principal. So we direct that one to Dr. Sulaiman Ogunmuyiwa. So one question so far. And to Dr. Ogunmuyiwa, what is the third C of needs? So that's 2 questions for Dr. Sulaiman Ogunmuyiwa. Please, to our facilitators, please kindly help us jot out those questions so that we can give you some amplified time to do justice to them. And also, okay. Dr. Isaac, you have another question. After knowing the problem of a student, how do you go about solving it, Dr. Isaac Yakin? So 2 questions for our facilitators. So I want to be sure if Dr. Ogunmuyiwa is still on the call so that we can have him first to answer the question for his own. He's not on the call so far. I can't see him here. Okay. Okay, while we do that, let's hear from Dr. Dada.
Okay, thank you. First and foremost, on the students that have worked on and it's not changing, first and foremost, you need to be exact. What have you done with him or her? What have you done with him? You know, first thing is when you have a client, the first thing you need to do after establishing the rapport, is to identify the area of needs, the challenge the boy is having. 1, 2, 3, 4. The child test line, the client test line, the client is disobedient. So you identify 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's second aspect. So you know the challenge, discuss it together, you agree to it. Yes, you accept it that yes, he's having this challenge. The next stage is now intervention, treatment. All the challenge you have identified cannot be treated once. That's why we have session. For instance, handling lies, that is one. He has anger issue, that's another one. He's stealing, that's another one. So you take it one by one. For lies, look at how many sessions will you have with him or with her for lies. And this depends on the theory you are using. You want to use perhaps CBT, you want to use it to discuss it, to cognitive behavior therapy and the likes. So you look at different stage. For lies, you want to interact with the boy, 6 sessions. Sometimes in a meeting, you can have 2, 3, 4 sessions in a meeting with him. First, we want to know what are those things that the student is lying on. It's lying on this and then. Why is it lying? So you want to change, using CBT, you want to change this, the way is thinking, his thought. Why is it lying? What is the best alternative for him if he's not lying? So that is why it depends on the way you are interacting. You are using, you cancel him. Not just one off. Cancel is not one off. Just come once. He said you have canceled him and has gone and you want change. No. And you must also realize that in a session, you need to have objectives. What do you want to address? So that you know that yes, it is first, the objective to reduce it first. From reduction to now eradicating it in totality. And these are the ways you know that yes, we have done something and you're not seeing the result. So sometimes we expect like magic immediately, because that behavior that you want to change is not that he has learned it and he can unlearn it. And it's gradual. It's learning it gradually and you can unlearn it gradually. And that is why you need to identify these particular behaviors you want to change and you take it one by one. We set out objectives and a specific treatment you are using for it. And after the treatment, you evaluate it, you assess it to know if you are progressing at that particular thing or not. And by that, you have to understand, yes, if you are making progress or not. And you don't just take everything together. And that is why clients come for sessions. You evaluate, yeah. So that's what I can just say on that. On the issue of I think the second one is, yes, other staff in the school, they are taking up the counseling work without carrying the counselor along. Well, you need to, as the counselor for the school, you need to enlighten them, educate them. Maybe in a meeting. And during your education, you incident it. So you talk on how do we handle cases in the school. From the teacher that have identified it to the counselor, because you need to keep proper records of that particular case. So any case you have heard that have been handled by the particular teacher or by the principal that you don't have the case with you, but you got it from another source, maybe from another teacher or from another learner, you incident it. On so date, I got a particular information and you invite the client as your position as the counselor of the school. you have the right to invite the client, the learner, and out of social thing, what happened? Yes, the principal has handled it. Yes, what happened summarily, and what is the way out? Yes. So it's for you to have your own document and record. So when you know that, yes, if you don't need to also contact the principal or the other teacher, yes, you need to tell them, I have to have done social thing on this thing. I think you can do it this way. If you have done this one, you still need to add this thing. So that you know that you have done your own part and you have documented it, you have incidented it. For future purpose. And that is what I can say on that. I think I've answered the questions. I saw a particular question in the chat box too that's addressing an officer in the polytechnics that's talking about the issue of having a counseling center in the polytechnics. Yes, it's good. Yes, generally every institution needs to have their own counseling session. Personally, you can have yours in your own office. You can have yours in your own office, and you can interact well with the student. Start from when you have these indicators, vulnerable indicators you have seen. In the institution of learning, there are a lot of students that are facing a lot of challenge because they are vulnerable. Some lecturers, they are exploiting them, and they think they don't have anything anywhere to go. They have laws now that can assist them, that can help them. And as a counselor in the association of learning, you can also work to assist them, interacting with them, counseling them, talk to your colleagues as regards what you have observed, and if they don't insist, if they don't stop, and the next step you are going to take can be very, very dangerous for them. So you can start your own counseling session center in your school. And start small, and by God's grace, you can progress. Thank you. Another.
So there is also a question in the chat box that can we have the soft copy of the presentations?
Yes, we have it on our platform that we have created. We are going to drop the soft copy of the
presentations there.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. So we really appreciate everyone for your time, for staying till the end. And like we said, we have a certificate for this event. So for this webinar, which will be a form of evidence for showing whereby you can tender. Imagine if you are being asked, have you been part of a discussion or a project that has to do related to counseling in school-related cases and the likes. So you can definitely present some of these things like that. So it's very important that we get the certificate at the end of this event. So thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate it. Okay, sir.
Sorry, I'm editor. I think I've mentioned it. I see another question here that say someone that after identifying the problem of the student. So after the identification, the next thing is the treatment. I've mentioned it. So when you have identified it, you need to now some treatment you can do it. You see that yes, still need assistance. You can refer. Some problem you see that we cannot undo it by ourselves. You can refer. When we are looking at problem, we look at it from holistically, biopsychosocial way. When you look at it, there are some problems that yes, they are psychological, purely psychological. There are some problems that are biological. There are some problems that are social problems. There are some problems that are educational problems. So we need to identify all problems. In a particular client, you can have like 2, 3, 4, 5 issues. Although we have the main problem, and now have the subsidiaries, the minor ones. So we now take it one by one to address it, and we evaluate it. But the first thing in the relationship is our relationship. You can establish good rapport. relationship, unconditional positive regards. You don't say because he's a thief, we now relate with him like a thief. Yes, this boy is not. So we must first strengthen our relationship. We really want to help him. The first thing in counseling relationship, because the therapeutic is a helping relationship, is to establish that rapport, good relationship with that particular person. After having that good relationship with him or her, then we discuss together the problem. Let him also or her also agree that he is having this particular problem. And that is why we have some certain skills, questionnaires. We have some certain skills that can use checklists that can, okay, yes, oh yeah, answer it sincerely. After going through it, you know that yes, you have this particular thing. And that is why it is scientific too. Counseling is also scientific. So when you after going through it, you have mild mental health problem. You have severe mental health problem. You have social thing. You are vulnerable. You are a vulnerable learner in terms of academically. You are a vulnerable learner psychologically. You are a vulnerable learner emotionally. So that will be able to, yes, both of you will agree on that particular on the problem. Then the next stage now is now treating the problem one after the other. So by the time you are going to terminate the counseling session, you know that yes, at least from severe can be to mild. From chronic can reduce it. So it's from reduction, then can total eradication, total behavioral change. The essence of counseling relationship is that behavioral change. So that is what we want. And gradually, when we continue following up, we can achieve what we set to achieve. And that is why you need to set up objective when you are interacting in a counseling relationship. Set our objective and we work towards the objective. So thank you.
So on this note, okay, are you true, sir? I think you are true.
Yes, I'm done.
Okay, good, thanks. So we'll call on, we also have someone in the house, Dr. Monsurat Monsako in the house to give us a vote of thanks. So before we wrap it up, we'll call it a day. Thank you.
There are 6 questions there that have not been answered. I typed some questions there.
Okay.
Okay. Doctor, have you seen the question, sir? You can check this chat box, sir.
Okay, is it necessary to inform the parent of the learner when there is an attempted illegal relationship with the child, despite we have arrested the situation? So it depends. You have arrested the situation in terms of what? You have addressed it. You know, we say illegal relationship. In law, there is attempted rape is a criminal offense. So even someone is making attempt to abuse a particular learner, vulnerable learner, sexually, it's not just something that just close like that. That particular perpetrator need to be also brought in to let him know that yes, we are on the know of his act. And that particular perpetrator need to also write a letter of undertaking. Yes, he has not undertaking. He is not going to go to law to get us, go to the law court to get us sworn affidavit that he will not make any attempt on that particular learner and on any other learners in the school environment. So by that, we have done that, and so you can rest the case. Then now, you now need to also go back. That is in terms of the perpetrator. Now go back to the learners to also cancel the learners. You cancel the learner as regards, look at the concerns, the circumstances that surround the learner, so that she or he will not fall prey of any attempted thing again. So you look at the circumstances surrounding it. So we can assist him to be assertive, to always give you the information of any other thing. So we need to cancel him. If you have done that, then at that particular stage, the parents do not need to know. But if you see that something is in the environment, or the parents is also the loopholes, that the child might be vulnerable. So you need to bring in the child and let the child be aware. If it's I don't want my parent mother, it's not to know, it's for your own protection. So then you need to bring in the parent to be able to know that yes, this thing is going on under your nose, and you need to be careful. Yes, we have done this, we have done that, you have arrested, you just need to let you know so that you can put 1, 2, 3 things in place. So, and that's it. And you also ensure that yes, if you have observed negligence from the parents' side, then you need to also let them know, let them know, and even let them write it down that they will adjust. Like that, we have said the first quote I started this class with is, anything you are doing on child is for the best interest of the child. And that is it. Thank you. Then I think that's the only one. I don't know if there is any other one that you have not mentioned for now.
Yes, there is. There is.
What is the role? What is the role, boundaries of MSS and coordinator concerning student well-being without overstepping? Yeah, this is a religious organization. Yes, the religious organization also has a role to play in the. For instance, if it's the religious organization, like a pastor, an imam, an MSS member that has observed a student, vulnerable student, being abused, maybe psychologically, maybe emotionally, maybe and what have you. And you need to interact with the girl first to get to know, to have full duties. Then you can liaise with the school counselor. No, this one is an outsider. You're not in the school environment. You can liaise with the school counselor. This is what we have observed. And we need to assist the student. If it is coming from within the school environment, we need to liaise with the school counselor so that the school counselor can take up the case. It is when you have done yours with the school counselors, you are free to seek for audience that yes, want to go and see the counselor. Want to go and see you want to see the counselor in the school, they will attend to you. You let the counselor be aware of what you have yes, and you follow up to know that yes, duty has been done, and that is what is expected of us. So if it is outside the school environment, then in every local government there is social worker. In every general hospital and every health center there is social worker. So if it is abuse case, you can also let the vulnerable learner go to the hospital with him, ask for the social worker of Lagos State. They will attend to you. If you have any counselor in your surrounding, around you, you can liaise so that you can look at the best way to assist if it is abuse. If it's something that you need to do as a religious organization, maybe support, social support, finance, then you can come in. You can come in and see how you can go to school that you want to assist so students. That this is what you have observed as an organization, and this is what you want to do. You can go through the district, they will attend to you. That through the district, yes, you have observed so thing as regards our relationship with this learner, and we want to support the learner with so amount of money, with the school uniform, with the materials, textbook. You are welcome in Lagos. Lagos is ready to welcome any good people, NGOs, religious organizations are ready to support them in their relationship, in the children upbringing. Then, how do we assist the counselor? How do we assist the counselor on the? I think this. I'm not getting. How do you assist the counselors on the workload in counseling in relation to their own duties? Yeah, this one. Well, all are on decks. They are working on it. They are working on it seriously in Lagos State. The commissioner, our APROCON is working on it. CASON is working on it. All organizations also are working on it. So child guidance units and Lagos State also are working on it, on the issue of workload on counselor. It's a gradual thing. Government is seeing the work of the counselor and the important work of the counselor. And that is why they are reducing the workload. So if the workload is too much, the counselor needs to also raise alarm. And that is why there should be counseling committee in the school too, that will give the counselor a support until we get there. That to the point that the counselor will not be having any subject to teach. Because there is even limit to the number of clients a particular counselor in the school system should have. Counselor per 250 students. And that is because you need attention to do all this and to identify all these indicators and to work on them. So this one is policy issue. And in fact, I've discussed it with this first facilitator before on this thing. The first facilitator and the new DG of quality assurance. Discuss it. We have discussed something like that today. And all stakeholders, they are saying that let us pray that yes, it will manifest. And Lagos State is doing good work as regards the students and as to an education in Lagos State. Can we have some? Sorry, I want to check. I think I see a particular question. MC, you can check if I see question you have not.
Okay, I think we have exhausted all what we have. So definitely from this session.
Somebody is asking for questionnaires, like some skills that the person can use
on the platform. You are going to share it. Don't worry. You cannot discuss it. You cannot see it. On the platform, we share that one.
We can share it on the platform because it may be quite difficult to explain deeply now. So that's why the platform will be used for under engagement and interaction as it relates with what we discussed today. Other ones for further engagement. So we can do that. Thank you very much. So with this platform be used, do we still have Dr. Monsurat Mosako on this platform so she can have the vote of thanks before we call it a day?
Okay.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. In the name of God, the beneficent, the merciful, we thank Almighty God for making us plan and execute this program. We thank all the contributors, speakers of today's lecture. We really enjoyed it. It was quite educative, trying to understand the basis of interaction, which is the relationship we must hold. And also for the second speaker also, I really learned so much and we need to practicalize it. Thank you also for the participants of today. It's not easy being on a Zoom for the past more than 2 hours, trying to get more educated about this, because one way or the other, we all have roles to play, either as teachers, or as guardians, or as parents, or as even just neighbors. We have so much to play into this. So we thank everybody for participating in today's, and I know that this is just the beginning. We have so much to learn, and with time, as we have other webinars and other physical outings, I know that it's all going to come around. Thank you very much.
So on this note, we really appreciate everyone for your time. And like I said earlier, it's really worth it. We have been able to learn a lot. So to whom much is given, much is expected. Let's try to cascade it. Let's try to make it beneficial to other people. And let's try to spread what we have learned. So the change starts from you, not from everybody. Start from you. If everyone is doing what is expected, then everybody can definitely be doing what is right. So everybody cannot do the right thing together. It is impossible, and that will not be proven anywhere. We'll definitely see some people doing something else. So, but when everybody take charge, everyone takes charge, then we can see that everywhere will be fine. So thank you very much for your time. It can indeed a pleasure to be with you and to spend the time with you for the past couple of hours. And I can see that it's so do have a nice day. Take care of yourself. We take charge and we spread the message. So our certificates will be given to us. So upon payment, I know that it's a value which I will want to urge you to definitely pay for. It's very, very important. So thank you very much. Doctor, I think we can close it.
Thanks. Thank
Sir?
you. Yes, yes. Someone is
Okay,
saying
okay.
something.
So no. So the group, every other discussion and engagement will continue
Yes.
on the group.
And the cook,
So
yeah.
do let us make that. So do have a nice day. Thanks for your time. Do have a wonderful weekend. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.